Before we begin, take a moment to get comfortable. Let your arms go heavy, your breath slow. And as you listen, feel free to leave a comment sharing what time it is, where you are, and what city or village you're listening from. It's love to know. And if you'd like more quiet stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe so they gently appear when you need them most. Now, let's begin. The night above is familiar. Stars scatter across a dark canvas, their light twinkling as it crosses distance. The constellations are ancient patterns repeated through generations. For most of history, humans looked upward and believed the sky ended there at the pinpricks of starlight, the faint hazes of distant clusters. But beyond the visible stars, further than the glow of galaxies, there are places where the light itself does not continue. Not because the stars are gone, but because their light has been gathered. It's pulled inward by something vast, something quiet, something unseen, far beyond the twinkling sky. Shadows wait in silence. They are not simple emptiness, but wells of deep gravity. They are the quiet hearts of collapse, black holes where time, matter, and light dissolve. The night is quiet, tang, and the silence deepens. Shadows that are not empty. When we think of shadow, we imagine absence, a space without light, a gap, a hollow. But the shadows that lie beyond stars are not absent. They are presence intensified. So much mass, so much gravity, pressed into one point that even light cannot escape. They do not shine, but they influence. They do not glow, but they shape the orbits of stars. They are invisible, yet their pull is undeniable. It is a paradox of presence, to be unseen, yet to define everything around you. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Gravity without light, gravity is patient. It does not rush, it does not falter. A planet circles a star, a moon circles a planet, all drawn by its pull. But when a star collapses inward at the end of its life, gravity becomes something more. It bends space so deeply that nothing, not even the fastest thing we know, not even light, can climb out again. This is the essence of a black hole. It is gravity without light. Not violent flames, not roaring sound, but a quiet pull, absolute and complete. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The patience of collapse, the form of black hole, requires patience measured in lifetimes of stars. A giant star burns for millions of years, fusion holding its weight against collapse. But one day, its fuel runs out, its balance tips. Gravity, patient all this time, takes over. The collapse is unstoppable. The star folds inward, its outer layers cast away, its heart pressed tighter and tighter, until at last a singularity forms a place where mass is crushed into infinite density, where our equations fall silent. It is not sudden on a cosmic scale. It is inevitable. The patience of collapse is written into the life of every massive star. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Not monsters, but resting places. It's tempting to see black holes as monsters. They consume, they swallow, they erase. But they are not violent by choice. They are natural outcomes of stars, resting places for matter and light. They wait, quietly, unhurried. Stars circle them. Gas drifts into their embrace. Light bends around their edges, but they do not chase. They do not hunt. They simply are, silent anchors in the fabric of the universe. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens, invisible. Yet, vast their invisibility is not weakness. It is their nature. We cannot see them directly, but their influence marks them everywhere. A star orbits too quickly, its path curved more than expected. Gas glows with heat as it spirals inward, revealing the dark heart it cannot escape. Even entire galaxies swirl around the hidden weight of black holes, as though tethered by unseen cords. The invisible holds the visible in place. The unseen shapes the seen. What we cannot detect directly still governs the rhythm of the cosmos. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens, wells in the fabric of night. To imagine a black hole is to imagine the fabric of space bent inward, like a cloth pulled down by weight, like a well with sides too steep to climb. Once something falls past its edge, there is no return. Not for matter, not for light, not for time itself. These wells do not end the universe. They are part of it. They are woven into the tapestry of stars. They mark places where the cosmos folds inward, pausing the outward rush of light. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The beginning of a journey to sit with the thought of black holes is to let the night grow deeper. The stars no longer seem like boundaries. They become the surface of something wider. Beyond them lie the quiet shadows, the wells of gravity, the invisible anchors, and the journey into their silence has only begun. Ahead lies the weight of collapse, the bending of space, the horizon that whispers of final boundary. Step by step, layer by layer, the night will draw us closer. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Toward the invisible heart, we begin here, with the idea that black holes exist, not as monsters, but as quiet wells in the universe. Yet to understand them more deeply, we must move closer. We must approach their hidden centers, the invisible hearts where collapse begins. For at the core of every black hole is a weight beyond imagining. K. Density that bends space itself. K. It is unseen, but it is the source of everything. And so, our journey continues from the night beyond stars to the weight of an invisible heart. Asterisk. The journey inward begins with collapse. The night beyond stars opens, and within it waits a secret heart. A heart not of flesh. Te. Not of blood, but of gravity, pressed to its limit. A black hole is born in silence, its origin written in the death of a massive star. When a star burns, its fire holds gravity at bay. Fusion, deep within its core, creates light, creates warmth, creates the pressure that pushes outward. For millions of years, sometimes billions, this balance continues. Gravity pulls inward, fusion pushes outward, and the star endures. But all fires fade, fuel is consumed, the balance tips, and when it does, gravity takes over. The patience of gravity never leaves. It waits. Through the long shining years of a star's life, gravity lingers in silence, measuring every moment, pulling softly at the edges. It does not rush. It does not need to. For gravity knows it will win in the end. When the last of the stars' fuel is gone, there is no more outward push. The invisible hand tightens. Qua. The star's core collapses inward, layers folding upon layers. The heart shrinking, smaller, denser, heavier. And then a threshold is crossed, a point of no return for the star itself. K's body collapses into invisibility. The star dies, but something else is born. A black hole, a heart of endless weight. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. A heart without form. To call it a heart is to use the language of the body, but this is no beating organ, has no edges, no surface, no shape we can see. It is weight condensed, mass folded into density so extreme that even light cannot leave. It is invisible, but it is not nothing. It bends space around it, curves time, draws stars closer. Its heart is everywhere and nowhere, a point without dimension, a silence without end. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Felt, not seen, no telescope can photograph this heart. No, I can glimpse it, but its presence reveals itself in other ways. A star nearby swings faster, its orbit tighter. Gas clouds stretch into spirals, glowing with friction as they are pulled inward. Light itself bends, curving around the invisible. We know the heart not by seeing it, but by feeling its effect. It is the unseen weight in a galaxy sea, an anchor that holds stars in their dance. Its silence is heavy, thick as stone, yet without form at all. The night is quiet, the silence deepens, collapse as creation. It may seem like an ending, a star folding inward, its fire extinguished, but in truth, it is a transformation. The collapse creates something new, an object unlike any other, an experiment written by the universe itself. From destruction comes creation. From the silence of death comes the silence of deeper mystery. The heart that remains is not a star, not a planet, not even matter as we understand it. It is gravity concentrated, a well in the fabric of reality. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Anchors of the galaxy cross the universe. These invisible hearts are many. Some are small, born of single stars. Others, at galactic centers, are millions, even billions of times the mass of our sun. And yet each one is the same, a silent heart, an anchor without visibility. Galaxies themselves are shaped by these hearts. Spirals turn around them. Orbits trace their weight. They are the unseen centers of cosmic architecture. Without them, the universe would scatter, while with them it holds. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Silence made heavy, there is silence in the night sky. But near a black hole, silence grows heavier still. It is silence that bends space, silence that curves time. Not the emptiness of nothing, but the fullness of presence, so complete that nothing escapes it. To imagine this silence is to imagine weight beyond imagining. It's a teaspoon of matter, if drawn from such a heart, would weigh more than mountains. Its density, without limit, gravity, without pause. Silence has become substance. Silence has become command. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens toward the curves of space. And yet, to truly grasp this heart, we must leave language of weight behind. We must think not only of mass, but of the fabric it bends. For a black hole is not only heavy, it curves the geometry of the cosmos itself. Space is not rigid. It stretches, it flexes, it bends. Near a black hole, these curves grow extreme. Time slows, paths spiral inward. The fabric itself becomes pliable in the heart's grasp. From here, our journey moves deeper still, toward the curves of the fabric of space and the whirlpools they create. The heart of collapse lies hidden, invisible, dense beyond imagining. Its weight does more than sit in darkness. It bends, presses, it reshapes the fabric of reality itself. Space, though it feels empty to us, is not a void of nothing. It is structure. It is woven like cloth, a grid of geometry stretching across the cosmos. Planets, stars, galaxies, all rest upon it, all bended by their weight. A black hole bends most of all. Its mass folds the fabric into curves so deep that space and time themselves are reshaped into circles of no return. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens space as cloth. To imagine this fabric, think of a sheet of woven thread, soft, flexible, spread wide. Place a stone upon it, and the cloth dips. Place a larger stone, and the dip is deeper. Imagine a weight so great that the cloth folds downward endlessly into a funnel without bottom. This is the bending of space beneath a black hole. It is not destruction of the fabric, but its reshaping. The cloth stretches, the threads pull, the geometry folds inward. What was once flat and open is now curved into an abyss. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens time as thread. But it is not only space that bends. Time is woven into the same fabric. Space and time are not separate things, but threads of the same cloth. When space curves, time curves with it. Near a black hole, time slows. Clocks tick differently. Moments stretch longer. What seems like seconds nearby might be centuries to those far away. The gravity bends not only the paths of planets, the rhythm of existence itself. It is as though the fabric is woven of both distance and duration, and in the presence of a black hole, both are pulled into whirlpools of silence. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Circles of no return, every object that drifts too close begins to spiral. Not straight paths, but curves, lines of escape, but orbits that draw tighter and tighter, like leaves caught in a whirlpool, like dancers circling an unseen partner. Matter is drawn into endless arcs. The geometry is not kind. There comes a point where the curve cannot be undone. Circle forms from which no return is possible. Not for matter, not for light, not even for time. This is the shape of inevitability, drawn into the fabric itself. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The whirlpool of space-time to picture this bending more clearly. Think of a river. On its surface, the water flows calmly, but near a whirlpool, the surface curves downward, spinning faster and faster. Anything caught nearby is drawn inward. Space and time behave this way near a black hole. The river of space-time, usually gentle and broad, becomes a vortex. The flow cannot be resisted. Objects spiral inward, time itself stretching, until all vanishes beyond sight. There is no roar, no splash, only the bending, only the sinking dot. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Silence in the fabrical is most striking, is that all of this happens silently. The curves do not creak, the threads do not tear audibly. The bending of space-time makes no sound. It is geometry folding, not noise erupting. Yet its silence is immense. The quiet tells of forces vast beyond measure. A silence that stretches across galaxies, shaping their paths without a word. The absence of sound becomes its own presence, felt in orbits, seen in spirals, known in stillness. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The universe as pliable. What black holes teach us is that the universe is not rigid. It bends, it curves, it is soft in ways we cannot see. Mass tells it how to shape. Gravity instructs it where to fold. And the folds remain quiet but decisive. The cosmos is pliable, not fixed, not unyielding, but patient and responsive. Every star bends it, every planet shapes it. And black holes curve it most of all, their weight stretching the fabric into funnels of silence. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Waiting at the border yet, even the deepest curve has a boundary, a place where bending becomes final, where light itself turns back no more. This is not a wall, not an edge of stone, but a horizon, invisible and absolute. The event horizon. It is the quiet border between what remains connected to the universe and what vanishes into silence. From curves in the fabric of space, we move next to this horizon, the border that whispers, the edge that cannot be crossed without loss. The quietest line in the universe, waiting in the dark. Asterisk, the curves of space-time deepen, folding like a funnel without end. The fabric bends further and further until it seems to vanish into silence. But before that silence is complete, there is a threshold. Not a wall of stone, not a barrier of iron, but a horizon, a quiet border where light itself gives way. This is the event horizon. 'Tis not an object one can touch. It is a boundary written in geometry, the place where escape is no longer possible, where every path curves inward, where all futures point to the same silence. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Not a wall, but a horizon. Imagine standing on a hill. It's tall. The land stretches forward, but at some distance, it seems to end. The sky meets the earth, a horizon drawn across vision. Of course, the land continues. The sight itself is limited. The horizon is not a thing, but a place where perspective fails. So it is with the event horizon. It is not a physical shell around a black hole. It is the place where vision ends, where light no longer returns. It is the quiet border of knowability. Soft, invisible, absolute. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The last frame of light. Think of light as a messenger. Photons travel outward, carrying the story of stars, the image of galaxies, the glow of the universe itself. But at the event horizon, the messenger can go no further. It is trapped, circling endlessly, never carrying the tail outward. For us, this horizon is the last frame of vision, the final image before silence. A surface not of matter, but of lost futures. A place where time itself slows to stillness in the eyes of the outside. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. No shout, only whisper. The border does not announce itself. There is no sudden flash, no wall of fire, no roar of collapse. Instead, the event horizon whispers its presence. It bends light softly, it dims the glow gradually, until, at last, all is gone. This whispering end is what makes it haunting. A quiet so deep that even light does not disturb it. The horizon speaks not in thunder, but in silence, absolute. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The fall beyond what happens, beyond the horizon, cannot return to tell us. Matter that crosses is hidden forever. Time and space twist inward. Paths converge. The future collapses into one direction only, toward the singularity at the heart. For those outside, the crossing seems never to occur. Objects slow, light stretches, time dilates. At the border, everything freezes in vision. But for the falling matter itself, the passage is swift, inevitable, final. The horizon holds both truths at once, stillness to the watcher, swiftness to the fallen. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The horizon as border of knowing. Event horizon is not only a physical line, it is a philosophical one. It marks the limit of knowledge. Beyond it, no observation is possible. No data escapes. No light returns. What lies inside is speculation, theory, imagination. It is the universe, reminding us that there are boundaries. That silence exists not only in sound, but in understanding. The horizon is the quietest teacher, showing us that not all can be known. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. A border soft, yet absolute borders on earth are drawn with lines, fences, markers of stone. But this horizon is soft, cannot be seen directly, cannot be touched, yet it is absolute. No particle, no wave, no possibility escapes it. It is the gentlest of borders, and the most final. It does not resist with force. It simply curves all futures inward, and in doing so, it holds silence at its core. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens toward the vanishing of light, and so the border leads us onward. For if light itself cannot escape, then within the horizon lies a greater mystery still. The glow of the universe, the messenger of vision, comes to its resting place here. The next step is not the border itself, but what it hides, the vanishing of light, the smothering of brilliance into silence profound dot from the horizon's quiet border. We move toward the truth inside, light that cannot escape. Asterisk, the horizon waits, soft yet absolute, a line where escape ends. Beyond it lies the quietest truth. Light itself cannot leave. Light is our messenger. It paints the sky, brings us stars, traces galaxies across the dark. Without it, we would see nothing, know nothing, remember nothing of the distant universe. But near the heart of a black hole, this swift traveler falters. The beams we trust across eternity curve inward, slowed, drawn into silence. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The swiftness of light is the fastest thing we know. 300,000 kilometers every second. It moves from Earth to the moon in the time it takes to blink. It circles the globe 7 times in one heartbeat. It is relentless speed, a cosmic limit. Yet, even this velocity, this great rushing torrent, is not enough. Against the gravity of a black hole, light bends, light curves, light halts. Its swiftness is undone by the weight of collapse. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens, light folding inward. Imagine a beam of light approaching, from a star, from a planet, from any distant fire. As it nears the black hole, its path bends inward, not because it chooses, but because space itself has curved. The beam is folded like a ribbon pulled into a spiral. It circles, it twists, until, at last, it falls across the horizon and vanishes from the outside forever. It is not destroyed, it is not erased. It is simply hidden, its journey silenced. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Darkness, as keeper darkness here, is not absence, it is presence. A keeper of radiance, holding what cannot return. Like a flame, smothered softly, the glow is still there, but unseen. Like water sealed in stone, the light remains, but hidden. The black hole is a vault, a guardian of all that enters. It is not lightless, nothing. It is light held in silence. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The flame hidden in shadow too. Think of this is unsettling. A flame that glows, yet can never shine outward. A fire folded into shadow. And yet, there is calm in it too. The black hole does not rage. It does not destroy with noise. It simply receives. It gathers light the way soil gathers rain. Quietly, patiently, completely. The glow does not cease. It only becomes unseen. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. What the eye cannot seat human eyes. A black hole is invisible. No beam returns from its depths. No light reflects from its surface. But invisibility is not emptiness. It is evidence of light withheld. We know black holes by their surroundings, by stars swinging faster than they should, by gas heating as it spirals inward, by arcs of light bent into strange shapes. All proof that the heart of darkness is a place of light restrained. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Radiance in silence. There is something paradoxical here. Light is energy, restless, ever moving. Yet here, at the horizon, it comes to rest. It finds stillness. Its energy remains, but its motion ends. It is radiance without reach. Brightness folded into quiet. The most dynamic thing we know becomes the most silent. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens toward the slowing of time. But the story does not end with light folding inward. For if even photons are curved and slowed, then time itself is altered. Moments stretch, seconds lengthen, clocks lose their rhythm. Near a black hole, time becomes strange, slowing into near stillness. From the vanishing of light, we move to the slowing of time. From radiance held in silence, 2 moments stretched into forever. Asterisk light has gone inward, its swiftness halted, its glow folded into silence. But the black hole does not hold only light. It bends something more profound, something that underlies every rhythm we know, time itself. We live by time. It orders our days, measures our breaths, divides our memories. Seconds, minutes, hours, they march forward with unbroken certainty. The clock ticks, the heart beats, the earth turns. Time seems universal, steady, unchanging, but near a black hole, this steady rhythm falters. Gravity there is not gentle. It pulls so deeply that even time bends, stretching into something strange. The night is quiet, the silence deepens. The stretching of seconds. Imagine standing far from the black hole, a safe observer. Through the telescope, you see a clock, drifting closer, drawn toward the horizon. At first, its ticks are steady, but as it nears, the rhythm slows. One tick, then a pause. Another tick, longer pause. Seconds stretch into minutes. Minutes into hours. Until at last, from the outside, the clock seems to stop altogether. To the falling clock, nothing unusual has happened. Its seconds still feel like seconds, but from afar, time itself has unraveled. Gravity has pulled the rhythm apart. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Watching an endless fall now, imagine not just the clock, but a traveler drifting inward. To the traveler, the fall is swift. Moments pass normally. The horizon arrives quickly, without pause. But to the distant watcher, the fall never ends. The traveler slows, dimmed by stretched light, frozen on the horizon's edge. It is eternity captured in a single descent. A fall that seems to last forever. A crossing that never completes. From the outside, the traveler becomes a statue of time, motion halted, story unfinished. The night is quiet, the silence deepens. Time as fabric. This paradox exists because time is not separate from space. It is woven into the same cloth. The weight of a black hole bends that cloth so deeply that duration itself is altered. Think of a drum stretched tight. Tap it, and it vibrates quickly. Loosen it, and the rhythm slows. So it is with time. Gravity loosens its weave. Seconds stretch, beats slow, until rhythm itself seems lost. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Time losing meaning, closer still. Inside the horizon, the paradox intensifies. Space and time exchange roles. What was distance becomes duration. What was duration becomes distance. The familiar order of existence collapses. Here, time itself may no longer have meaning. There is only inevitability, a path inward, without choice, without return. Moments dissolve, not into infinity, but into silence beyond measure. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. A rhythm broken, yet repeating from the outside. We watch time slow, halt, freeze. From the inside, time rushes forward, swift, unstoppable. Both truths coexist. The rhythm is broken, yet softly repeating. The cosmos accepts both stories. Time is not absolute. It is pliable, stretching and folding under gravity's command. It is not a universal drumbeat, but a fabric that bends. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Eternity, in a moment. To think of this, is to hold eternity in a single instant. A star falling, a clock slowing, a traveler suspended forever on the horizon. It is time turned into image, motion into stillness. Black holes remind us that time is not the same everywhere. That what feels like seconds here may be centuries elsewhere. That eternity is not always distant, but can be contained within the slow stretch of a single fall. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Toward this sphere of influence, yet time is not the only thing bent. Space itself is drawn into orbits, paths curved by unseen weight. Stars circle invisible anchors. Galaxies themselves turn around silent hearts from the slowing of time. We move outward again to see how the black hole's presence shapes all that surrounds it. The invisible sphere of influence, the quiet command written in orbit and spiral. Asterisk. Time has slowed, seconds stretched into near eternity. The deep gravity of the black hole has bent not only space, but the rhythm of existence itself. Yet, this bending does not stop at the horizon. It ripples outward, reaching into the space, around, touching stars, clouds, entire galaxies. A black hole may be unseen, but its influence is not. It is written in motion, in orbits that circle invisibility, in spirals shaped by gravity's hand. The sphere of influence is wide, vast, beyond imagination. It is the quiet command of the unseen, felt long before the heart itself is reached. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Stars that circle the invisible look into the center of our Milky Way. There lies Sagittarius A*, supermassive black, whole millions of times the mass of the sun. We cannot see it directly, but we see the stars around it. They move too swiftly, their paths too tight to be explained by anything else. One by one, astronomers have traced their orbits. A star loops in 16 years, another in 12, a third in only 10. Their dance is frantic, yet graceful, like dancers circling a partner they cannot see. Their arcs reveal the invisible heart, not in light, but in gravity. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Galaxies that turn beyond individual stars. Entire galaxies are shaped by black holes. At their centers, supermassive hearts rest in silence. Though small compared to the galaxy, their influence extends outward, anchoring the swirl of billions of stars. It is like a vast whirlpool in a sea of light. The arms of spiral galaxies stretch outward in luminous curves, but they all circle the same unseen center. The galaxy itself is a dancer, turning in silence, its rhythm set by a black hole's hidden gravity. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens gravity's gentle hand. This influence is decisive, yet not violent. It does not yank stars suddenly, nor tear galaxies apart without pause. It guides them softly, persistently, with a hand patient and sure. The stars follow obediently, not out of forceful collision, but out of geometry itself. Space has been curved, and they move along those curves. It is as natural as rivers following valleys, as wind following ridges. Gravity shapes the path, and stars obey. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Knowing by pattern, we cannot look directly at a black hole, but we can know it by the motions it commands. The arcs of orbits, the speed of stars, the spirals of galaxies all reveal what cannot be seen. It is like seeing the wind, not by itself, but by the sway of trees, the drift of clouds, the curl of waves. The wind is invisible, yet its pattern tells us it is there. So too with black holes. Their invisibility is betrayed by the quiet choreography of the cosmos. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The dance in silence picture the stars as dancers. Each one follows a path, some wide, some tight, some swift, some slow. They circle an invisible partner, never touching, never stopping, yet always pulled. The dance is endless. It is not music that guides them, but gravity. A rhythm, without sound, a command, without voice. Still they move, tracing spirals in the dark, arcing the presence of the unseen. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The reach of influence, the sphere of influence, is vast. It extends far beyond what the eye can sense. Near the horizon, time slows, but far away, motion is shaped just the same. Gas clouds stretch, clusters shift, entire arms of galaxies arc and sway. A single black hole though invisible, can command millions of suns. Its weight is not confined to its edges. It ripples outward, reaching across cosmic scales. It is presence, multiplied power without spectacle. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The quiet command, this is perhaps the most haunting truth. Black holes do not announce themselves. They whisper in gravity, not in light. They pull gently, yet inexorably. Their command is silent, but absolute. There is no resistance, no rebellion. Every star obeys, every orbit bends. The command is geometry itself. To resist would be to deny space and time. And so the cosmos turns, obedient to what it cannot see. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Toward shadows in starlight, yet, though the black hole itself is invisible, its presence sometimes paints a picture. When gas drifts inward, when stars wander too close, their light flares against the dark. A shadow emerges, outlined by brilliance. The invisible becomes visible, not in itself, but in contrast. From the sphere of influence, move toward these rare portraits, the shadows cast in starlight, the glowing rings that framed the silent. Void asterisk. The sphere of influence spreads wide. Stars orbit unseen centers. Galaxies curve around silent anchors. The presence of the black hole is known, but still it cannot be seen. Its invisibility remains absolute, its body hidden from direct sight. And yet, there are moments when the invisible paints its own portrait, not by shining itself, but by framing its absence in the brilliance of others. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The glow of falling matter. When gas drifts too close to a black hole, it does not fall quietly. It spirals inward, stretched and compressed, heated by friction. Atoms rub against atoms. Electrons collide. Temperatures rise to millions of degrees. The gas begins to glow, not dimly, but with fierce brilliance. Radiation bursts outward, painting the edges of the void in fire. The black hole itself shines nothing. What falls toward, it becomes luminous in its struggle. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Ring of fire around darkness, this glowing matter forms a disk, flat and swirling, called an accretion disk. It is a ring of fire, spinning at near light speed, circling the horizon of silence. The black hole rests at the center, its heart invisible, but its presence undeniable. Here, darkness is made visible not by itself, but by contrast. A hollow void outlined by a radiant crown. A shadow painted in starlight. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The first photograph of absence in 2019, human eyes glimpsed the shadow directly, not with ordinary vision, but with an array of telescopes spread across the earth. Together, they formed a lens the size of the planet, capturing the faint signals of light curved around a black hole's edge. What emerged was an image, a glowing ring, uneven, blurred, but undeniable. At its center lay nothing, not emptiness, but absence, framed by radiance. It was the first photograph of something that cannot be seen. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. A shadow that is eternal. This shadow is not fleeting. It endures as long as the black hole endures. Stars may fade, gas may swirl and vanish, but the void remains. Its outline is written in geometry itself, a place where light bows inward and does not return. What we call shadow is not a trick of the eye. It is a feature of space itself. The black hole casts no shadow outward, but creates one by holding light within. It is absence made eternal. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Beauty in contrast. There is a strange beauty in this. Darkness, framed by light, silence, outlined by fire. It is the universe painting contrast upon itself. The quiet heart revealed only because the world around it glows. Without starlight, the void is unseen. Without gas, it is hidden. But when light bends, when fire spirals, the absence is revealed in its most delicate form. Okay? A portrait of nothing, painted by everything around it. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. A photograph of silence. Image is haunting, not for what it shows, but for what it withholds. It is a photograph of silence. At the center, a circle where no light escapes. Around it, a ring of brilliance, struggling, burning, vanishing. This is not a picture of destruction. It is a picture of patience, of a presence that waits, that bends, that holds. The photograph reminds us that invisibility does not mean absence. It means silence made visible. The night is quiet and the silence deepens toward collisions in the dark, but shadows are not the only ways black holes reveal themselves. Sometimes two invisible hearts draw close to one another. Their spirals merge, their silences combine, and though they make no light, their union sends tremors through the fabric of the universe itself. From shadows cast in starlight, we move toward collisions in the dark, events unseen, yet whispered in gravity's waves. Asterisk, the shadow rests in starlight, outlined by rings of fire. We glimpse the void, not directly, but by the glow of matter around it. It sometimes, no fire, burns, no gas spirals, no light paints the edge. Instead, the black hole reveals itself in motion, in the meeting of two silences. Sometimes, black holes collide. Not often, for the universe is vast, and their paths rarely cross. But when they do, their joining reshapes the very fabric of reality. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The spiral of approach, two black holes drift near one another. At first, their motions are slow, their circles wide, but gravity pulls, gently, then firmly, drawing them closer. Their orbits tighten. They spin faster, spiraling inward like dancers pulled together by an unseen rhythm. Around them, space itself bends. Waves ripple outward, not in sound, but in the geometry of space-time. Every orbit sends a tremor through the cosmos, a whisper, spreading into distance. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The final embraces, the black holes approach. Their orbits grow faster still. Seconds tick, but the circles shrink swiftly. Near the end, they whirl at half the speed of light, two invisible giants locked in embrace. Then, suddenly, they merge. There is no explosion of flame, no bright flash across the sky. The union is silent, dark, absolute. One black hole becomes two, and then one again, heavier, wider, its horizon expanded. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Ripples in the fabric though. No light shines, the cosmos knows. Ripples spread outward, gravitational waves moving at the speed of light. They carry no glow, only distortion, the stretching and squeezing of space itself. These waves travel far, across galaxies, across eons, across the ends, but they do not vanish, They reach us faintly, billions of years later, and our instruments tremble with their passing. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Hearing the silence in 2015, humanity listened to this silence. Detectors on Earth, delicate as mirrors floating in light, caught the faint tremor of space-time. Two black holes had collided over 1 billion years ago. Their embrace had shaken the universe, and the whisper had finally reached us. It was not a sound, not a flash. It was a vibration in the fabric of reality, a confirmation that even silence can speak across eternity. The night is quiet, the silence deepens. The union of giants what remains after collision is a black hole larger than either before. Mass combines, horizons merge, the singularity grows. The union is permanent, a new anchor in the galaxy sea. It is a reminder that even in darkness, there is growth. Even in silence, there is joining. Even in invisibility, there is union. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Echoes that continue, the ripples never truly cease. They fade, yes, but they continue outward, forever stretching across the cosmos. Long after the collision is forgotten, long after the galaxies that birthed it dissolved, the echoes will remain. Faint signatures etched into space-time itself. The universe is full of such whispers. Events unseen, yet carried endlessly by gravity's waves. Every collision writes another line in the quiet story of the cosmos. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens toward the quiet glowed, yet not all endings are collision. Sometimes, a black hole, though silent in its pool, gives off a faint whisper of energy at its edges. Not fire, not starlight, but a glow predicted in thought. A soft exhale of radiation, escaping the horizon itself from collisions in the dark. We move toward this stranger idea, the glow of Hawking radiation, the quiet light that seeps from the silence of black holes. Asterisk, the collisions have passed. Two giants have merged in silence, their embrace trembling through space-time, their union hidden from sight. The echoes ripple outward still, but the black hole itself remains dark and quiet. And yet, not all is silence. At the very edge of the horizon, there is a faint glow, whisper, so soft it was once thought impossible. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. A prediction in thought, the 1970s. The physicist Stephen Hawking asked a simple question. What happens at the border between quantum laws and gravity? The event horizon seemed absolute, a place where nothing escapes. But quantum theory whispered otherwise. Empty space is not empty. It seethes with particles, pairs flickering in and out of existence, appearing and vanishing in instants. Usually, these pairs cancel their brief lives, ending as they reunite. But near a horizon, one particle may fall inward, while the other escapes. What was fleeting becomes permanent. The black hole loses a fragment of energy. The cosmos gains a faint glow. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The soft breath of radiation. This glow is called Hawking radiation. It is not fire. It is not a blaze that lights the sky. It's faint, gentle, a soft breath of particles seeping outward from the edge. It is weaker than starlight, fainter than the afterglow of creation itself, but it is real. It means a black hole is not eternal. It breathes slowly, quietly, giving itself back to the universe grain by grain. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. A long exhale. The scale of this exhale is vast. A black hole, larger than a star, may take longer than the age of the universe to fade away. Its whisper is so faint that no instrument today could hear it. But the process continues, patient beyond imagination. Over eons, the horizon shrinks, the weight decreases. The silence itself dissolves, not in violence, but in patience. What was once thought eternal becomes finite. A black hole, the most permanent of things, is revealed as temporary. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Light, softer than starlight, what is most haunting is the nature of this glow. It is not brilliant like a nova, not radiant like the sun. It is softer than starlight, quieter than moonlight, a fading ember against the canvas of eternity. The black hole, once fierce in its silence, becomes gentle. It exhales itself in a glow almost imperceptible. Not destruction, not collapse, but return. The cosmos receives back what had once been taken. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens death in silence. In this way, black holes may die, not in an explosion, not in flame, but in whispers. Their horizons shrink until nothing remains. The singularity dissolves, the fabric smooths, the silence exhales into nothing. The end is almost invisible. No grand finale, no cosmic firework, only absence, only fading. The most dramatic objects in the universe leave the stage quietly. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens toward the engines of galaxies. And yet, while they live, black holes are not only endpoints, they are engines. Though their cores are silent, their surroundings blaze. Jets of energy burst outward, galaxies are shaped. The architecture of the cosmos is drawn around them. From the faint glow of Hawking radiation, we move toward this paradox, that the darkest hearts can drive the brightest structures. Black holes as galactic engines, powering spirals of stars with invisible force. Asterisk, the glow of Hawking radiation is faint. A whisper of particles escaping the edge, a soft exhale that lasts for eons. It reveals that black holes, though immense, are not eternal. Yet, while they live, they are more than quiet graves. They are engines driving the structure of galaxies, cowering the brilliance of the cosmos. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The hidden center. Every large galaxy, including our own Milky Way, hides a black hole at its core. We cannot see it directly, but we see its influence. Stars swirl in vast spirals, gas streams across light years, bound by an anchor invisible to the eye. This anchor is not passive. It shapes the rhythm of the galaxy. Without it, stars would scatter, the spiral arms would fray. With it, galaxy holds its form, turning slowly, like a wheel guided by a hidden hub. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Spirals shaped by silence look at the Milky Way's arms. They curl outward in luminous arcs, billions of suns forming rivers of light. Each star is tiny on its own, but together they form a vast spiral. And at the center of that spiral, a black hole rests, invisible, yet decisive. The spiral is not random. It is a map of gravity. It is the shape created by matter responding to the pull of the unseen. The galaxy is not drifting aimlessly, it is guided by a heart that does not shine. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The power of feeding. When gas drifts too near, a black hole begins to feed. The matter spirals inward, heated by friction, glowing with fierce radiation. But sometimes, not all of it falls. Some of it is hurled outward, launched in jets of energy that extend across thousands of light years. These jets shine brighter than the entire galaxies. They blaze in radio waves, in X-rays, in light across the spectrum. Paradoxically, the darkest objects in the universe create some of its brightest displays. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Quiet engines beneath stars. These outbursts are not explosions. They are processes, steady and controlled. Magnetic fields twist, plasma flows, currents surge. The black hole becomes an engine, transforming infall into outflow, darkness into brilliance. The stars above may not reveal it, but beneath their glow, black holes are working tirelessly. They regulate the growth of galaxies. They balance the flow of matter. They influence the evolution of the universe. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Maps of invisible power astronomers have traced these jets, seen them stretch across intergalactic space. Some extend millions of light years, painting the cosmos with threads of fire. Others carve cavities in gas clouds, sculpting the birthplaces of stars. In every case, the map points to a hidden heart, galactic spirals, jets of plasma, streams of radiation. All are signatures of invisible power. The black hole does not announce itself, but the universe records its presence in light. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens, guiding without being seen. Perhaps what is most humbling is that black holes do all of this unseen. They do not shine. They do not speak. Their guidance is silent. Their influence invisible. Galaxies are vast cities of stars, yet every one depends on a quiet heart. A heart that bends, that pulls, that drives without ever being revealed. The cosmos itself is built upon the labor of what cannot be seen. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens toward the endless valley. Yet, for all their power, the black holes remain what they are: gravity without escape. They command galaxies, they launch jets, they shape spirals, but at their core, they remain places of descent, funnels of inevitability. To approach them closely is to discover what lies inside, not engines of light, but abysses of falling. To cross the horizon is to surrender to endless descent. From engines of galaxies, we move toward this deeper mystery, falling without end. A journey into silence that has no ground, no return. Asterisk, the galaxy swirls in its rhythm. Jets blaze outward. Spirals curve in light. The black hole at its center guides and powers without being seen. It is an engine, a quiet heart driving brilliance across the stars. Yet, for all this outward influence, its core remains unchanged. At its horizon, gravity does not relent. Crossing that line means surrender. To pass into a black hole is to enter a fall that has no end. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The crossing, there is no wall, no barrier that strikes you. The horizon is invisible, an edge that cannot be marked. One moment, you are outside. The next, you are in, and then the fall begins. It is not like falling to earth, not like descending to the ground. There is no bottom waiting, there is only inward, always inward. The path is not optional. It is the geometry of space itself, curved so steeply that all directions lead the same way. The night is quiet, the silence deepens. The stretching of matter as the fall continues. Matter itself is altered. Pulled by gravity's difference, the nearer parts fall faster than the farther. Objects are stretched, elongated, drawn into thin lines. Astronomers call this spaghettification, a simple word for a profound fate. It is not destruction in fire, but in silence. The stretching is patient, unstoppable, an unraveling of matter into streams that fall endlessly inward. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Time unraveled from the outside. The fall is infinite. The object slows, frozen. On the horizon, light stretched redder and redder until it fades into invisibility. But for the one falling, time continues. The horizon is crossed. The descent continues. Moments march on. Here lies the paradox. To the watcher, the fall never ends. To the fallen, the fall continues without pause. The truths woven together in silence. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Silence consumes side the horizon. Sound cannot escape. No signal, no message, no trace. The fall becomes a private journey, hidden forever from the outside. It is not the absence of sound, but the capture of it. Silence that swallows all attempts to speak. Silence absolute. The story is told only in geometry now, in the curves of space-time that guide the descent inward. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. No ground, no returning, like falling to earth. There is no bottom, no surface waits to catch you. The black hole offers only continuation, only further inward. The singularity at the core is not a place as we know it. It is the end of places, an inward without outward, a destination without arrival. Falling becomes the only rhythm, motion the only state. It is not travel, it is surrender. And still, it has no end. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens, falling as rhythm. The black hole is often imagined as violent, but the fall is not noise, not chaos. It is inevitability. It is geometry expressing itself. Once begun, it cannot be stopped. It is the simplest of motions. Curves follow to their conclusion. But the conclusion is unreachable. Falling becomes the rhythm. A rhythm without beat, without change, without release. The fall itself is the state of being. The night is quiet, but the silence deepens toward the echoes, and yet, though nothing escapes from within, the fall itself leaves traces outside. When black holes merge, their spirals send waves into space-time. When matter falls, its last light arcs outward, its final energy spilling across the universe. Even in silence, the black hole speaks in echoes, not in sound, but in waves. Not in brightness, but in tremors of gravity from the endless fall. We move toward these faint messages, echoes in gravitational waves, whispers of collisions and unions, traveled billions of years to reach our listening. Asterisk, the fall is endless. No ground waits, no surface catches. Inside the black hole, the descent becomes the only rhythm. It is silence made into motion, a journey with no return. And yet, though the fall is hidden, though no sound escapes, black holes still send messages outward, not in light, not in particles, but in waves, tremors in the very fabric of space-time. The night is quiet, the silence deepens. Ripples in space-time. Imagine a stone dropped into a pond. The surface ripples outward, rings spreading far into distance. So too with space-time. When massive objects move, suddenly colliding, merging, spiraling, they disturb the fabric itself. Ripples spread, not across water, but across the cosmos. These are gravitational waves. They carry no light, no color, no sound. They are distortions, stretching and squeezing space as they pass. They are whispers of motion, traveling at the speed of light, crossing billions of years to reach us. The night is quiet, the silence deepens. Collisions as messengers of black holes, though silent, are masters of these echoes. When two spiral together, their final moments send the strongest ripples. The merger bends space-time violently, and the fabric rings like a bell. The waves spread outward, crossing galaxies, crossing eons, By the time they reach us, they are faint beyond faint, stretching space by less than the width of an atom. And yet, that faintness is enough to tell us of events billions of years gone. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Listening to the cosmos for most of history, these waves were only theory. Einstein predicted them, but doubted they would ever be detected. Too faint, too delicate, too lost in the noise of the world. And then, in 2015, the detectors trembled. A ripple passed through Earth. Two black holes had merged over 1 billion years ago, and their embrace had shaken space-time itself. We heard it, not with ears, but with instruments, a faint signal, a rising tone, the whisper of giants colliding in the dark. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens, echoes as history. Each gravitational wave is a record. It carries the memory of its source, the mass, the distance, the motion. It is history written not in words, but in distortion. By listening, we learn the stories hidden from sight. Black holes that merge unseen. Neutron stars that collide in silence. Events that happen in darkness, yet ripple through the cosmos for billions of years. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The fabric trembles. What is most haunting is that these waves are not sound at all, yet we can translate them into sound. A chirp, a rising tone, the signature of a merger. It is as though the universe is playing music too deep to hear, and our instruments act as ears. The cosmos becomes not only light, but vibration, not only seen, but felt. The fabric itself trembles, carrying echoes of collisions long past. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Whispers that continue, and the echoes do not end. Every merger sends them outward. Every collision writes another wave. They spread forever, weakening, fading, but never ceasing. Even now, the earth is bathed in them. Countless ripples pass through us, imperceptible, continuous. We are immersed in echoes. We live inside the music of gravity, though it is too soft for our senses. The universe is never still. It rings forever with the memory of its own motions. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Toward the hidden core, and yet, for all these echoes, for all these ripples, there remains a place where knowledge falters. The center of the black hole, the singularity. Here, the equations break. Here, silence becomes mystery itself. From echoes and gravitational waves, we move toward this riddle, the mystery of the singularity, the hidden heart where known laws dissolve. Asterisk, the universe rings with echoes. Ripples in space-time carry whispers of collisions long past. Gravitational waves travel through us even now, reminders that the cosmos is never still. Yet, for all these tremors, for all this evidence, it remains a heart of silence that we cannot penetrate. At the center of every black hole lies a mystery. It is not horizon, not shadow, not ripple, but it is deeper still, the singularity. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Where equations fail physics is our language of the universe. It describes how planets move, how stars burn, how galaxies turn. It explains the smallest particle, the largest structure. But at the singularity, this language falters. Here, density grows without limit. Gravity compresses matter beyond any scale we can measure. Equations that serve us elsewhere break apart here. Numbers stretch to infinity. The mathematics dissolves like ink in deep water. The singularity is not just unknown. It is unknowable, at least by the tools we now hold. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. A point without size, we call it a point, but the word is only metaphor. It has no size, no volume, no surface. It's all matter, all light, all information that crosses the horizon is thought to end here. It is not a place we could stand. It is not a space we could see. It is an end to the concept of space itself. The singularity is not an object in the universe. It is a place where the universe ceases to be itself. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The clash of theories, two great frameworks describe reality. Einstein's relativity explains the large stars, planets, galaxies, gravity. Quantum mechanics explains the small particles, atoms, uncertainty, fields. Both work, both succeed, until the singularity. Here, the two frameworks collide. Relativity insists on infinite density. Quantum theory refuses it. Neither can rule. Both fall short. The singularity sits at the intersection, where our knowledge collapses into silence. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. A whisper beyond. Knowing perhaps the singularity is not truly a point of infinity. Perhaps it is something else, a structure we cannot yet imagine. A layer of reality hidden behind our mathematics. Some suggest quantum gravity may solve it. A new theory, yet unwritten, might show that infinities dissolve into finite truths. Others imagine the singularity as a doorway, a bridge, a hidden core where universes may connect. But these are whispers, not certainties. The heart remains veiled. The silence remains absolute. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. the riddle. In the dark, this is what makes the singularity haunting. It is not only unseen, it is unseenable. No light carries its image. No wave escapes to describe it. It is hidden behind horizons, behind silence. We know it only by inference, by the rules that fail before it. It is a riddle set in the fabric of the universe, a reminder that knowledge has edges. We walk to the edge of language and then must stop, staring into a silence that cannot yet be broken. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens toward the storyteller's end. Yet, though the singularity itself remains hidden, black holes are not silent altogether. Their presence tells stories in the spirals of stars, in the shadows of starlight, in the ripples of gravitational waves. They are more than riddles. They are storytellers, writing the history of galaxies in silence and in gravity. From the mystery of the singularity, we move toward this other truth: black holes as storytellers. Their silence itself a language across the cosmos. Asterisk, the singularity remains hidden, a riddle where equations fail. It is a place we cannot see, a silence beyond description. Cat, the black hole is not mute. Cat, it does not speak in light, but it speaks in other ways. Cans, its silence itself becomes a story. Every orbit around it, every star that bends, every ripple. In space-time, all are messages. Black holes are storytellers, libraries written in absence, histories whispered through gravity. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Orbits as sentences. When a star loops around a black hole, it writes a line in the cosmic text. Its speed, its curve, its rhythm, all describe the weight of what is unseen. Astronomers read these sentences, measuring the dance of stars near Sagittarius A*. From their arcs, they deduced the presence of millions of suns, mass compressed into invisibility. The orbit itself becomes a record, a chapter written in motion. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Shadows as paragraphs. The shadow framed in starlight is another kind of story, a photograph of absence, outlined by radiance. It is not only an image, I know, but a narrative of extremes. Gravity so deep that light itself bends to silence. The uneven glow of the accretion disk, the dim hollow at the center, the blurred edges, all are words in a paragraph about horizons, about fire meeting silence, about the geometry of space itself. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Ripples as songs, gravitational waves, are perhaps the black hole's most haunting tale. They are not sentences, not paragraphs, but songs carried across the universe. Each chirp is a note, each ripple a melody telling of collisions long past. When we detect them, we are listening to music written in silence. The cosmos becomes not just light, but vibration. Black holes sing their unions, and the universe carries their chorus forward. The night is quiet, tamed. The silence deepens. Transformation, as theme, what falls into a black hole is not gone. It is transformed. Matter becomes energy. Light becomes absence. Information itself is debated. Does it vanish, or is it encoded somehow on the horizon's surface? This is one of the great themes in the story black holes tell. Transformation without end. Nothing is preserved as it was, yet nothing is entirely lost. It is altered, rewritten in silence. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Libraries of silence in this way. Black holes are like libraries, but their books are not paper. They are motions, shadows, waves. Each one records a fragment of the universe's history. A star consumed, a collision recorded, a glow outlined. All are archived in the silence of the whole dot. To us, it feels like loss, but to the cosmos, It is memory stored differently, written in absence instead of light. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Whispered continuity, and so black holes whispered their stories without words. They remind us that silence is not the absence of narrative. Every unseen center, every orbit traced, every ripple detected adds another verse to the poem of the universe. We may not understand every stanza. We may not translate every line, but the stories continue, carried in rhythms deeper than language. The night is quiet, okay, and the silence deepens toward the final restand yet. For all their storytelling, black holes, too, are part of a larger rhythm. They may whisper their histories, they may shake galaxies, but even they are temporary. Hawking's quiet glow tells us so. One day, they too will fade. From black holes, as storytellers, we move toward the last chapter, a meditation on their rest, their patience, their place in the infinite night. Asterisk, the stories have been whispered, orbits have been traced, shadows painted in starlight, waves carried across the cosmos. Black holes have spoken in gravity, in silence, in transformation. They have been engines, anchors, storytellers, but there is another way to see them. One, softer, less fearful, not as destroyers, but as resting places, points where the universe exhales, where light and matter come to pause, where silence deepens into calm. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Beyond the monster for much of history, black holes were imagined as monsters, as cosmic devourers, endless traps, pitiless abysses. The words we used were born of fear, collapse, crush, infinity. They seemed like endings, but the more we listen, the more we observe, the more another image emerges. They are not monsters. They are part of the balance. They are woven into the fabric of galaxies, integral to the shape of stars, central to the architecture of the cosmos. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Resting places for light. Think again of light. Its journey is endless, crossing billions of years, painting the sky with memory. Yet, when it reaches the horizon, it comes to rest, not destroyed, not erased, but held. The black hole is a keeper, a resting place for radiance. Like a flame sheltered by glass, the glow remains, but unseen. It is a pause in the endless running, stillness after uncounted miles. The night is quiet, okay, and the silence deepens. Part of the architecture black holes are not interruptions in the universe. They are architecture. They hold galaxies in their arms, guide the spirals of stars, regulate the birth of suns. Without them, the cosmos would lack shape. Okay? They are not holes in the fabric, but stitches in it, binding together what might otherwise scatter. In this sense, they are not absence. They are structured. They are order born of silence. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. The patience of ages black holes live long lives. Longer than stars, longer than galaxies. They endure for eons, their horizon steady, their silence patient. Even Hawking's radiation, the faint exhale of their being, takes trillions upon trillions of years to undo them. To us, they are eternal companions. They will outlast suns. They will remain when galaxies themselves fade. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens. Rest within the night and so we may see them differently. Not as threats, but as rest. Not as endings, but as pauses. They are places where the universe gathers itself in stillness, where motion comes to quiet, where even time folds into calm. In the infinite night, black holes are moments of rest. The cosmos breathes, and in its deepest inhale, okay, they are the silence at its center. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens, the universe resting in its self-picture, the whole universe now, galaxies scattered like seeds of light, clusters bound together, filaments stretching like veins. Between them lie voids, and within them lie black holes, anchors, storytellers, resting places. The universe does not resist them. It needs them. It leans into them. In their silence, it finds balance. It's in their patience, it finds continuity. In their rest, it finds itself. The night is quiet, and the silence deepens toward endless stillness, and so the journey folds back into silence. Black holes are not just ends, not just mysteries, but part of the endless rhythm of the cosmos. They are pauses in motion, anchors in space, patience embodied in gravity, from shadows to echoes, from collisions to whispers. They have shown us the quiet heart of existence. And now we return to stillness, not an ending, but a resting, not finality, but continuation. The night is quiet, softly repeating, and the universe rests within itself.